Society will spend your whole life trying to make you choose one thing. This video is about why you should refuse to. Let me describe someone. She is halfway through 3 different books, just became obsessed with a new hobby, and the list of things she wants to learn keeps getting longer. So people around her keep asking the same question. Why can't you just stick to one thing? If that sounds like you, stay with me. Because by the end of this video, you are going to understand exactly what type of brain you have, why it works the way it does, and why everything you were taught about it was wrong. In psychology, this is called being a multipotentialite, a person whose mind is naturally wired for multiple interests, multiple directions, and multiple layers of curiosity all at once. Some psychologists also describe this as having an M-type brain, a mind built for multidimensional potential rather than one fixed identity. And before you think that just sounds like a sophisticated way of saying scattered, it doesn't. Research from the University of Wisconsin found that people with diverse interests tend to be more creative and better at solving complex problems than people who stay inside only one field. So the brain everyone told you to fix might actually be the exact thing giving you an advantage most people will never have. The problem was never you. It was that the world built a very narrow idea of what focus looks like, and you did not fit it. And instead of questioning the idea, people questioned you. Do you recognize yourself here? Let's test it with the following 5 signs. First, you ask a lot of questions. You do not just accept things. You want to know why and how and what is underneath it all. Secondly, you enjoy spending time alone. Not because you dislike people, but because you need space to think and follow your own curiosity. Third, you get completely absorbed in something new, and then, once you have learned enough, you feel the pull to move on. And you feel guilty about it even though you should not. Fourth, you have been called intense, or too much, or unfocused, by people who simply did not understand how your brain works. And fifth, you feel like nobody fully gets all of you. If you nodded at more than 2 of those, you are almost certainly an M-type brain, and everything that follows is for you. So what does it actually feel like to be a multipotentialite, and why does society so often get it wrong? You fall completely in love with something. You read everything about it. You practice it for hours. You become genuinely good at it. And then, something new catches your attention. A different idea, a different world. And suddenly you feel that pull again. And the people around you sigh and say, "There she goes again." But here is what they do not understand. You did not fail. You did not quit because you were lazy or incapable. You simply learned enough to feel complete, and your mind naturally moved toward the next challenge. That is not a lack of focus. That is rapid curiosity and rapid learning. And some of the most successful people in the world work exactly like this. Take Zendaya, actress, singer, fashion icon, producer, activist. She never forced herself into one identity. And because of that, she built something nobody else could replicate. That is the hidden power of the multipotentialite mind. Your combination of interests, talents, experiences, and obsessions is completely unique to you. And that uniqueness is often exactly what makes people unforgettable. But the world we live in was built for specialists. The school system rewards you for picking lanes. The job market asks you to define yourself in one sentence. And somewhere along the way, you started to believe that your many interests were a sign that something was off. History tells a different story. Cleopatra spoke 9 languages. Eleanor Roosevelt was a diplomat, writer, and activist all at once. Gloria Steinem crossed journalism, activism, and cultural change without ever choosing between them. These women were not unfocused. They were simply too big for one category. The woman who is curious about many things is not lost. She sees solutions that people with tunnel vision will never spot. That is not a weakness. That is a gift. But let's be honest. Being an M-type woman is not always easy, and pretending otherwise would not be fair to you. People have probably told you that you need to finally choose one thing and commit to it, that having too many interests makes you seem distracted, unreliable, unrealistic. And if you hear that often enough, part of you eventually starts believing it. So you begin shrinking yourself. You stop mentioning the new hobby because you already know the reaction you will get. You hide parts of your curiosity to appear more serious. You force yourself into one path, one identity, one version of yourself that feels acceptable to everyone else, even when it quietly feels like a cage. And maybe the hardest part is this: you can actually succeed in that smaller version of yourself, but you still will not feel fulfilled. Because multipotentialites do not suffer from having too many passions, they suffer from trying to live too narrowly for too long. That version of you was never going to feel fully alive. But hear me out. Our world is changing faster than ever before, and in a world like this, the qualities of the M-type mind become incredibly powerful. Because the future does not only belong to people who can repeat one skill forever. It belongs to people who can adapt, learn quickly, think creatively, and connect ideas across different worlds. That is exactly where multipotentialites thrive. And the fact that you are still here watching most probably means part of you already recognizes yourself in it. 1. You are deeply intelligent. You carry knowledge across many different areas and can hold meaningful conversations about almost anything. That is rare. 2. You are highly creative. Your mind naturally connects ideas that most people would never think to combine. And that is often where the most original thinking comes from. 3. You are fiercely independent. You trust your instincts. You think for yourself, and you make decisions based on your own inner compass rather than blindly following the crowd. 4. You are genuinely strong. When something truly matters to you, you do not give up. Again and again, you have proven to yourself that you are capable of reinventing, rebuilding, and learning whatever you need. 5. You are authentic. People get the real version of you, and in a world full of performance and pretending, that becomes more valuable every single year. And maybe most importantly, 8. You are never truly disconnected from life. While some people slowly lose their curiosity, you always have something pulling you forward: a new idea, a new passion, a new possibility. That is aliveness. Would you be surprised if I told you that the world actually needs women like you? Because this is the part most multipotentialites never hear, and it matters. As the world is becoming more complex, more connected, and more unpredictable than ever before, we need people who can connect ideas across psychology, creativity, communication, business, culture, and human behavior. People who can see patterns others miss. People who are able to adapt quickly and think differently. In other words, people like you. If someone you love is an M-type woman, listen carefully, because the way you respond to her matters far more than you realize. It could be your daughter, your sister, your partner, or simply a friend you care deeply about. Please do not tell her to pick one thing. That is not encouragement. Show curiosity instead of judgment. Let her talk about the things that light her up. And if she is your daughter, support every interest she brings to you. The girl who wants to paint and play football and learn coding and start a business is not confused. She is extraordinary. Whether this is you or someone you love, stop apologizing for the things that light you up. You do not owe anyone an explanation for your curiosity, your passions, or the way your mind naturally moves through the world. Stop waiting until you are a perfect expert before allowing yourself to begin. And stop shrinking yourself just to fit into rooms that were never designed for someone like you. The women history remembers were rarely the ones who stayed in one lane. They were the ones who refused to. And the next time someone asks you, "So when are you finally going to pick one thing?" you already know the answer: all of it.